put you not only in the eyes of people, obviously, but you are going to have to allow yourself and this thing to be perceived. And I feel like the reason that y'all are holding on so very tightly is because you don't know if you're ready for that.
Coming up, slamming Cadillac door. Me and you, your mama and your cousin too. Rolling down the strip on boats. Coming up, slamming Cadillac door.
Hey, my water signs, welcome to your mid monthly creative divination check in. I am Mecca for those of you who don't know, and I am here to divine for the creative in you. So, if you are a water sign, a Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio, in any placement that you would like to apply this to, this may be for you. So, this is a continuation of the snippet that I did on TikTok. I will post that link down below so you can get caught up. But if you have already seen the snippet, we are here to elaborate a little bit more on what was said. So we have for my water signs, your overlight energy and your creative energy for the month of November is precision. Okay, and it says the desire to do things precisely is useful as long as it does not devolve into rigidity. And the card that we have to support that is the Six of Blades or the Six of Swords. Okay, so y'all, in the mini that I did for you guys, I was saying how y'all need to leave some room for flow, okay? I use the example of going on a road trip and having to hit a detour and be rerouted, and you coming across a restaurant that you have always wanted to eat at, but you never had the chance to because there's not a location near you, right? And the reason that I use that example is because I wanted to drill into y'all's heads, my dear water signs, that rigidity can be the death of your creativity, right? Feeling as though that I can't talk today. This is how you know we are in a pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde because my God. Um, but being so rigid about your ideas, about your creativity, about what it is that you want to share with the collective or with yourself in that matter. Um, oh wow. Anyway, sorry. What you want to share with whomever you want to share it with, um, being rigid in how that comes into shape and form, how it comes into fruition, how people receive it, like all of like you can't control none of that, baby bop, pudding pop. Sorry to tell you. So you're even in the creation of it, right? You can't control like I don't want to say you can't control your creativity, but is creativity meant to be controlled? That's the question. You know, like it would do you some good as you move forward because we see here with the Six of Swords that there is something that you would like to move forward in. It's something that you are, quite frankly, moving forward in. Moving to maybe a calmer, creative landscape, I'll put it like that. And you need to do it with less rigidity. It's okay to do things precisely. It's okay to do things the right way. But are you being too rigid in your approach? And honestly, as I'm looking at the cards that came out, it's making me think that there's a reason for that, right? Because I don't feel like people are natural. Some people are. Am I? Sometimes I feel like I'm naturally rigid and I've always been rigid, but then there's other times where I think that I'm rigid because of the experiences that I've had that has shaped my perception, right? And so I'm going to say that to you. I feel like with the cards that came out, it makes me feel like y'all are like, look, I'm moving forward. I'm putting the thing out. I'm doing the thing, right? However, comma, I don't want this to be like last time. I don't want this to be a repeat of what I've already experienced. And if that is what is the situation, if that is what's happening, I can, to a certain extent, understand why you would want to be, or why you are rigid in how you move forward. But let me show y'all these cards. So far, we have the Five of Pentacles, right? We have the Seven of Wands. We have the Six of Pentacles. And we have the what is this? The Ace of Swords or the Ace of Blades in this deck. Bottom of the yes, bottom of the deck. We have the Lovers. We have the what is this? The Four of Pentacles, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. So it's like I said, water signs. I was about to call y'all earth signs. It's like I said, water signs. I feel like there's something that happened in the past, and that something quite literally could have been this Five of Pentacles, right? It could have been you having done something, put it out, or even if it didn't even get to the stage where you put it out, you created a thing, right? But whatever this thing that you created was that didn't work out, that didn't quite go the way that you wanted it to, I'm going to tell you a secret, okay? Come closer. It didn't work out. Because you were operating and creating it from lack. Your next card out, water signs, is, if I can pick it up, got mud sign, is the Seven of Rods or the Seven of Pentacles. Baby, it's time for you to look at why you feel like you have to defend the decisions you have made. And I feel like the decision, we're speaking about the decisions that you made, is talking about why you feel the need to be so rigid as you move forward, right? Because the Seven of Wands talks about gaining a sense of success, or gaining a sense of, yeah, we'll say success, victory, right? In whatever it is that you were doing. And now having to realize and remember and understand that, yeah, you've had some sort of success, I guess, but you have to keep it up, right? And it makes me, or it brings me to the question of, is the way that you're trying to move forward in this rigidity sustainable? Like, I feel like that's the question that you need to ask yourself, right? We have the Six of Pentacles here, right? Is it balanced? Is it equally yoked? Is it reciprocal? I'm just saying, is it giving you what it's supposed to give? And for a lot of y'all, especially with the energy being the energy that you are trying to move on from, being the Five of Pentacles, dare I say, with this Ace of Swords here, yes, clarity, but also it's time to like use this blade, use this knife to kind of slice away at this lack mentality, at this poverty consciousness, at the root of why you feel like you have to control every aspect of how you move forward, right? The one thing that I love about being a creative is the fact of like, sometimes it is even better, in my opinion, when you kind of just let things happen, right? Like when you, I'll take being a writer for example, right? When I'm hyper focused on what is being written and how it's coming across and this, that, and the third, when I'm being that way, when I'm being that rigid in my process, I don't like what I write. And quite frankly, y'all don't receive it well either, right? Because I feel like it also comes across in the writing. However, when I'm just having fun with it, when I'm just vibing, when I'm letting the story write itself and just being the conduit for the story, ooh, that's a word. When I'm just being a conduit for the story to pass through, that is when I love my work. That is when y'all are like, mech. Okay? Example, Foolish is a result of me being the conduit. So I'm going to say this to y'all. Move forward, yes. Be precise, be intentional, absolutely. But remember that you are but a conduit. You are, yes, an expression of the divine, right? Of God, of even your ancestors, right? Because you have their blood running through you. My glasses are hurting my face, Lord. But it's not always for you to control how that comes out, right? It makes me think about like someone channeling, right? As we're speaking about, oh yeah, I gotta take these off. They're making my head hurt. Um, what type of world are we living in where you have to decide between whether you can see or whether your glasses hurt? Like, I just need new glasses. Anyway, it reminds me of someone being a channel, right? Somebody channeling a message or what have you. If you are somebody who has experienced that, you know that you cannot control how that comes out sometimes. More often than not, you cannot control it. It's going to come out how it's going to come out because it needs to be said in the way that it needs to be said without you interfering with it, right? Think of it like that. And I'm not saying don't interfere, so to speak, because, or do I want to say don't interfere? Because I feel like a big part of it for y'all, as we speak about rigidity, is ah, okay, okay. We have the lovers here, right? Girl, are you okay? I can't just jump down all hard. We have the lovers here. If you've been here for a while, you know how I feel about the lovers, right? You know that, excuse me, yeah, love. See, they're gonna hiccups. Yeah, love. Yeah, the unions and blah blah blah. Like, yeah, but I look at the lovers as two sides of the same coin. I look at the lovers as obviously Gemini energy, mutable energy, um, being able to maneuver, right, a certain way, different ways, being as though, you know, Gemini is represented by the twins, da da da. Also, ego and higher self. Are you creating, two questions, are you creating from your ascended self or are you creating from your ego? There's no wrong answer, but I feel like you need to know the answer to that. And actually, the second one isn't a question, it's more of a statement. And I feel like a lot of y'all are so rigid about whatever this is about because it's making you face yourself in ways that you probably don't really want to right now. You probably really don't want to right now because our last card out, I'm gonna have to double back and talk about this Four of Pentacles, but we have the Wheel of Fortune at the end of the reading, right? Bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Water signs, you know, okay? You know that there are changes afoot. This could be a change. Oh, I just got chills. This could be just a simple, like, you changing how you do something or changing how you present something. Or for a large part of y'all, I feel like you know that putting this thing out, doing this thing, sharing these things is going to put eyes on you. It's going to make it so that people are having to, or I'll put it like this, it's it's going to put you not only in the eyes of people, obviously, but you are going to have to allow yourself and this thing to be perceived. And I feel like the reason that y'all are holding on so very tightly is because you don't know if you're ready for that. Because I feel like this thing is very sacred to you. I feel like it is very important to you, obviously, because being a creative, obviously, we're, you know, sensitive about our. But whatever it is that you create is an embodiment and a piece of you, just like we are expressions of the divine being expressed in a human body. Your creation, your art, your creativity, whatever that may be, is an expression of you being expressed outwardly in whatever medium you choose to express it in, right? And depending on how you put it out, depending or share it, depending on what mind frame you are in when you share it, depending what mind frame you were in when you created the thing, it's going to be perceived. And I feel like you may be afraid of people's perceptions because it's going to you're going to have to look at it. Like you're going to have to look at why being, and maybe that's the question. Is it you don't want to be perceived? You don't want to be seen? Again, there's no wrong answer to that question. But I feel like you not wanting to be perceived is called, there we go. It clicked. You not wanting to be perceived is what's causing the rigidity. Because it's like you want to control the narrative, which I mean obviously is your creation. But don't control the narrative so much so to where you destroy what it is that you're creating. And what it is that you're creating outside of, like, obviously your creativity, you're creating legacy. The things that we create stay here forever until this earth is no more, right? We will be long gone, and the things that, this hoodie is getting on my nerves, the things that we create will remain, right? So it's like the rigidity is because you know that. However, water signs, I feel like during this Mercury retrograde, because we are in the pre shadow, it is so funny because as I was, obviously, as I am doing your reading, which y'all won't see because obviously I'm going to edit it out, but when I was sitting here doing your reading, one of my very good friends messaged me and was talking about the Mercury retrograde because me and her pretty much have the same chart, given a few differences. But um, saying all that to say, I find it funny that Mercury retrograde came up and is coming up here. Anyway, I feel like during this Mercury retrograde, there is going to be some clarity around getting to the root of why you don't want to be perceived, why you don't want to be seen. You want your thing to be seen, but you know that your thing being seen means that you're going to be seen regardless through your work, right? And I feel like during this Mercury retrograde, it's going to be a very good thing for you to unpack that. I really do. Because we're moving forward. We're creating legacy. What, pray tell, are you afraid of? Like, I get it. As a creative, I get it. Because, baby, when I tell y'all I was shaking like booty meat when I was... when I put out Foolish, I was like, oh my God. Like, I know it's a good story. I know I F with it. But is everybody else going to F with it also? If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've said on several occasions that Soul Story is loosely based on my life. So... I was very much perceived in this book. I had no choice, right? But the dope thing about it, y'all, is I put Foolish out and it was perceived and it did exactly what I wanted it to do in terms of character relatability, because a lot of people was like, yo, I see myself in Soul, right? I've been where she is. Some people are like, I am where she is in so many terms. In terms of the indecisiveness, in terms of questioning her gifts and her path, and like, so being perceived doesn't always turn out the way that you think it's going to turn out. Of course, if we're going to stay on the example of Foolish, also I'm shuffling for an advice card, but if we're going to stay on the topic of Foolish, like, of course there are people that didn't like it. I mean, I haven't heard of anybody personally. It hasn't been made known to me that nobody likes it. So if there is somebody out there that doesn't like it, I'm not aware of it. But even like when I looked at my reviews, I think it has like a 4.8 or something like that. 4 point, this 4 point something, on Amazon. So that means that there was things about it some people didn't like. I remember reading one comment where somebody was like, I think it was like Soul was getting on her nerves or something like that. I completely understand that because I'm the I'm the author and Soul was getting on my damn nerves. But all that to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there were people that didn't like it, but just as many people who did, for just as many people who didn't like it was 2 times more who did. You feel me? So stop being something. Y'all are water signs. You're supposed to be watery. You're supposed to be flowy, right? I said that in the mini. Like, why am I telling water signs to flow? That should be a natural occurrence to y'all. At the end of the reading, I was like, clean it up. Because clean it up. And I feel like Mercury retrograde is a good time. Lord Jesus, I've been shuffling forever and a day. Mercury retrograde, thank you, is a good time to do that. Okay? We have roots. Didn't I talk about roots earlier? I said getting to the root of a thing. This is why I shuffle on camera. Okay, what number is roots? Oh, okay. I was like, I don't see it. Okay, root says healthy patterns, early growth. We like it. Roots create a foundation giving a plant stability and strength. Twining deep throughout the soil, they are both anchors and explorers, seeking water and nutrients to feed the plant. Roots expand and divide, creating beautiful natural patterns. The root card reminds you to make sure your project has good roots. Don't race through the early stage of creation. If you ensure a healthy foundation in the early stages, your project will have a better chance of success. Like a strong root system that will support and nourish a plant, it is important to establish routines and healthy patterns you can rely on when life gets chaotic. A reliable foundation will bring you confidence and reduce pressure in times of stress. The reflection of this card is, do you need to go back to the foundations of something to examine them and perhaps reinforce? I cannot make this shit up. Going back to the root of why you feel the need to be rigid in your forward movement, okay? Getting to the root of and unpacking why you fear perception, why you fear eyes on you, why do you fear these things is the root. Once you get to the root, you can Mecca. Anyway, getting to the root of it will help you unpack it, right? We're going to get a card from the Inquire Within. Also, I'm going to put the question that I just posed, the reflection. I'm going to put that in the comments, as well as I'm going to put this question in the comments. And this is from the Inquire Within. It is a like a companion to any tarot deck, right? It's just some questions that you can ask to kind of like help you dig deeper, right? So the question that you guys have is, how can I show myself love today? How can you love on yourself today, water signs? How can you throw some love on that rigidity? Okay, I'm gonna put that question in the underneath the bar, aka the description box, as well. This has been your creative divination, water signs. Thank you so much for being here. If you would like to book a reading with me, my books are open. You can do that by girl. What? You can do that by clicking the link below. And I hope to be able to sit with some of you soon. Be great, get brand stay all the way live. It was everything be intentional. Have the rest of the month that you conjure. Peace.